Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the GioMoShow Extras, the GioMoShow game previews, whatever you want to call it, just whatever I can't really appropriately cover on the new showtime of Mondays at noon on wxou. Changing it at the time of the playoffs made it a little bit weird because I had to do a video just like this before the Lions and Rams game, and now I have to do it again before the Lions and Bucs game for these playoffs because at the last live show, I didn't even know what the matchup was, so it was I couldn't really talk about it. I believed and still believe that we could beat both teams, both the Eagles and the Bucs. It's just we were given the Bucs to play in the playoffs for our second home playoff game for this breaking of new ground here for the Detroit Lions. So I'm going to give my quick thoughts about it. I didn't, no notes or whatever. This is just off the cuff, but like I mentioned before on the live show, I believe that we could beat both teams. I believe that whether it was Tampa or whether it was Philadelphia, that we were more than well equipped, especially at home, to beat both of them. It's just now that we're given the Bucs, and I think this is an interesting matchup. I still believe, I'll just cut to the chase, still believe that we could win this one, and we should win this one. We're a favorite at home for a second playoff game, and we saw what the crowd can do for, at least in the wild card round, was cost the Rams 2 timeouts in the second half, and then, force them in an unwinnable situation once they got down to it, once they needed more timeouts at the end of the game. So the home field advantage is fantastic. But about the Bucs specifically, the way, and I understand that this was the Eagles, and this was basically a high school team that they were playing, but they blitz a lot. That's the way that the Bucs go. That's the way that Todd Bowles ran his defense, even when Bruce Arians was the head coach of the Bucs with Tom Brady. When they won the Super Bowl, they put a lot of pressure on Patrick Mahomes. And that's why they were only able to get 9 points in that Super Bowl. So Todd Bowles is a blitzing maniac. I heard somewhere, don't quote me on it, but 41% of the time his defense is blitzing. So why does that worry me? Well, it worries me because what happens when Goff gets under pressure? You get games like the Thanksgiving game against the Packers, and it's not pretty when Goff is pressured. And I'm not turning this, and this is not a I hate Goff thing. No. Not what I'm saying, but what I am saying is that when you put pressure on him, he is worse than when you don't put pressure on him. And it's something that the Bucs can exploit if they could get a good enough pressure on Goff consistently. It's something that they could take advantage of and give them an edge in the game. I'm not saying that the Bucs have no chance in this game. I don't believe that. I believe that the Bucs, especially with the momentum that they have, are fired up and could pose a real threat to the Lions, making it to the NFC Championship game. So I'll give them a shot here, but I do still think the Lions are going to get it. I do still think, especially given the way our first matchup went. Remember that we played them in, I think, week 6 or week 5. We played them in Tampa, and the game was close for a little bit, but we were able to win that one defensively and pretty consistently. And what's the word I just used? Defensively. The Lions are not that kind of team anymore. That was the old Lions of this season. This was the new old Lions, where the defense was really, really good at the beginning of the season, or at least the parts of the defense, but it's not the same way nowadays. Can the Lions defense crank it up, especially with the addition of James Houston and another week of Gardner Johnson getting his feet underneath him? Yes, that's definitely going to help the defense, but it's still a weakness, I would say. It's, the passing game is where our weakness is, and that's where the strength of the Bucs is, at least relatively, because their running game's not good. But I'm going on and on, but what I'm saying is the Bucs have keys that could potentially unlock this game for them. And there's ways and there's spots where they could use to their advantage against this Lions team that is not perfect, but is still very good. The Lions, though, are at home. Their offense is explosive, and even with Vita Vea, listen, the Lions are still going to run the ball at least enough to open up the passing game a little bit. So I got the Lions in this one. I think it's going to be exciting. Somebody asked me for a game for a score prediction, so I'll give the same one here. I have the Bucs. Or excuse me, I have the Lions winning 28-24 in Ford Field. I still think it's going to be close. This is the divisional playoffs. It's going to be close, but give me the Lions 28-24 and to make it to the NFC Championship game, and then it's really hands off. Then it's really doesn't matter what happens at this point. That's what I originally thought after we won the wild card game, but just because we have the chance to win and a chance to go even further, then am I going to be upset that if we lose? Sure, but only because of the 1 week and only probably for a week. Then I look back at the rest of the season and in totality, and I'm like, wait, this was historic, and I'm really happy about it. So, in summary, if you need it in like 10 seconds, I think the Bucs have keys that make them dangerous in this game, and that gives me concern. But I do still think the Lions at home, with all the juice of the city, I think that they're gonna do a great job against this Bucs team. And even no matter what happens in this game, still a successful season. This is extra credit at this point, but with the chance to actually and logistically go to the NFC Championship game, you should. So that's going to wrap up my thoughts here real quick on the GioMoShow extras. And I'll give you guys my thoughts after the game. Mondays at noon on wxou. And you can tune into everything. Find me anytime on YouTube and Spotify. Be sure to like and subscribe. 5-star review. Everything you could do to help out the GioMoShow. See you guys on Monday.